that's maybe one of like 3 jokes that was perfect right out of my head. Like that's exactly what it was, because I wrote that joke in the middle of an argument. And that,
like, it just hit you. Like
I literally, this is off base a little bit, but I was
tell it.
I was living in a homeless shelter in LA that was only for Iraq veterans.
Subscribe to the podcast, KFC Radio on YouTube.
Bang.
How you doing, dude?
I'm doing all right. Yeah. Which one of you smarter?
Smarter? Probably him.
Okay.
Welcome.
Probably me.
Somebody was like, "So you familiar with the show?" And I was like, "No." And they were like, "Okay, well, they basically just idiots."
Who said that? You know who said that?
The girl that
Jordan.
And I was like, well, are they really idiots, or is it just character? And she was like, "Well, it's both."
Yeah, I mean, it's an accurate description, I guess.
That's some bullshit.
Not the one I choose to have our people give out.
I don't know if I want to that to be the fucking thing that
it's you know what it is. It's
Booker
called,
is telling our guests.
No, it's an ultra crepidarian is what they call it.
Yeah, well, we're dumber than
You're
that.
smarter than us.
It's somebody that speaks a lot on shit that they don't know nothing about.
Yeah, we probably do that.
No, I don't think so. I don't think we do that.
I'm going backwards here.
Yeah, other way.
I think we're pretty like, I don't know what the fuck that's about.
Yeah, I will talk on any topic, but I will also tell you, like, well, I don't know what I'm saying here.
Oh yeah, that's
Which
important.
I think we could use a lot more.
That's
Good?
I think every comic is like that.
Yeah.
Because that's really the sign of intelligence.
Yes.
It's like,
to be able to say what you don't know.
Right.
Is like, too many people in this world now try to act like they're an expert for fucking everything, you know? Yeah. And I think saying, like, I don't really know yet. You know?
Everybody gotta have a fucking take. You know?
Right.
You have a fucking take, and then but you're also, everyone's like a little mini politician.
Yes. Well, that's what happened.
Have we started yet?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Everyone's like a little mini politician, you know. So it's like you have to manage your public image the way that like the average person didn't used to have to do.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I'll make one joke or give a take about something that, let's say, leans right, you know, and then I come back and I say something that leans left, and they're like, "Well, wait a minute, but you said this thing that made you look this way,
it's like,
and you can't be this." You know, I'm like, yeah, I'm both of those things.
It's like I'm not on your side.
Yeah, I'm not on anybody's side.
I'm just
on my
saying
own
stuff
fucking
that's
side,
funny.
and that's it.
Yeah, I get that a lot, man. People are like, I can't believe, you know, you were shooting guns. You said, you know, it's just like, yeah, motherfucker, because I like it.
They were paying me to.
I mean, to me, yeah, it's like I'm not always the exact same way at all fucking times. Sometimes,
yeah,
like,
dude,
you know,
it's like I want abortions and I want guns. You know what I'm saying? If it was so, to me, there'd be like an abortion gun, and I would just like, who needs one? You know what I mean?
You go to the gun range and help out some teenage girls.
Nah, just walking down the street, yo, who missed their period? You know,
man, it's so true though. It's like, and then they get offended, and then they get mad, and they try to, you know, they can't. It's just like, shut the fuck up. Everybody shut the fuck up, man.
You know, I've stopped. It's not that I don't care that people are offended or whatever. It's like, you have every right to be offended about whatever the fuck you want, but I also have the right to not
give a fuck about
care.
you.
Right.
Yes.
It's like, that's what
I'm just not going to change anything I do because of your offense.
Yeah. It kills me too, because I have friends from all walks of life. Like, people you would never guess I was friends with, like, both extremes, left, right, whatever. And it's like, and I'm always arguing with my friends on the left, because they always like to flip it and go, well, you know, it's about accountability. You know, but they don't want to talk about, they want accountability without responsibility. So it's like, yeah, sure, hold somebody accountable, but what does that mean?
Yeah,
does it mean does it mean kill their whole family? Does it mean they should never make money again?
Right.
If that the penalty, because they don't never want to talk about what the penalty should be for people fucking up. They just want people to die, or you know, they just want blood in their mouth.
They just want blood.
Yeah, and it's like, you have to, if you don't want to have that conversation, then you're not really serious about your offense.
Right, where it's like, okay, something happened. You don't agree. It is fucked up. But how about we don't ruin his career, ruin their career?
Yeah, because it's not new. Like, or cancel culture, or people wanting to punish a comedian. That's not new. Remember when Roseanne fucked up the national anthem on purpose at the baseball game? Do y'all remember that? You two, you don't remember that, motherfucker. You about 5 years old. She was like, "For the land of the free," and the people were pissed, bro. And then she kept
nothing really happened.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing is,
we're mad, but
people
we're not
just
gonna
hated
ruin
her.
you.
The people that hated you, they just hate you.
Yes, yeah.
And that's fine. That's just one less person to buy your shit or like your shit.
Yeah.
But all of that, like calling up the venue and I don't know.
That's what I think the punishment should always be. Like you said, that group of people don't buy your shit, don't contribute to you anymore. But you don't have to stop the people who do enjoy something from being able to enjoy it anymore.
Exactly.
But it's not gonna change. So it's also like I feel like we argue about it, we talk about it, but this is just the way it is now. So you got to play by these rules because nobody's fucking changing anytime soon.
You really don't, though. You don't have to play by no rules.
Well, no, but you also can't like I'm saying you can't we can't be like surprised every time this happens. Like they're gonna try to do it. Like this is just the new normal.
This is just what it is.
But yeah, I've always said like you can only get canceled if you let yourself get canceled. You can only get embarrassed if you let yourself get embarrassed.
Yeah,
the people who just plow ahead and keep going, they kind of give up because they're like, oh, it's not working.
Maybe that's what it is too. Like on the side of the entertainer or whatever. Maybe it's just that we used to not hear how upset people were because there wasn't any Twitter or whatever, right? And people used to be upset, and we used to not have to hear about it. And so maybe that's another thing. Got to grow a thicker skin. Like people are gonna hate you, and they can say it right to you.
Yeah. I think that's the main thing. We talk about that a lot. Where you just see more shit than you're supposed to. Right. We probably see more shit than the human brain should ever see.
Ever.
We're constantly consuming.
We're probably seeing more in a day than people decades ago saw in like a lifetime.
Yeah.
It's like you got like thousands of people judging you. Where it's like back in the day, you have your circle that you hear from, and that's fucking it.
Yeah.
It's not normal to be this stimulated.
But what I think is crazy, like people like us, sure, we see. You have people who are replying to you all the time. I always think of like the person who is a regular ass person and they go viral that day.
Oh.
The fact that person survives the night is shocking to me.
Yeah.
Because we at least like slowly waded into the water. We kind of dipped our toes in, walked in from the shallow end. You're like, all right, 50 people yelled at me today. All right, 100 people yelled at me today. 1,000 people yelled at me today. When it's just like you're one of the people. Like, remember that chick? She was on a plane and she was going to Africa, right?
Yeah, Justine.
What? And she tweeted. She was a PR specialist on her way to Africa and tweeted like, going to Africa, hope I don't get AIDS. This is years and years ago.
She was like the first person to maybe really be canceled.
Yeah, and like by the time she landed, her flight landed. It was like before like Wi-Fi was even like widespread on planes. By the time she landed, she was the talk of the world. She'd already lost her job.
Has Justine landed yet?
Yeah,
everyone was predicting what's the first thing she got to say.
Shit!
But from takeoff to land, her job heard about it, fired her, the whole nine. So she landed. She took off, said a joke. Landed, life was ruined.
Yeah,
it was fun. But that day was fun.
You a PR specialist, bitch.
Yeah,
I don't feel bad for you.
That was funny.
100%.
You should know the game. You know how this fucking works.
Right. That's like you hear about like a doctor overdosing on
you know the rules
on prescription pills. So like, I mean, I don't want you to,
You know how many opioids it takes, dude? Come on.
Yeah. What happened to her now? How long ago was
this?
that?
Was like 2011 or something.
A little later than that.
So this was right when Twitter was.
It was. I lived on Tremont Street. I lived in the apartment you actually have been to. I'll call it 8-9 years ago. I guess that is 2011.
Yeah. Justine Seiko was her name.
Yep.
The PR executive was fired. Has landed back at the IAC's Match Group. So I don't know. I guess she's back on her feet. He's back with Barry Diller's company. So yeah,
which is what happens too with most of the cancellations. You have a horrible day, and then like 2014, and then like usually it's like you get yelled at, and then like in 99% of the time I feel like you get a job, you get your job back.
The problem was
too,
this is how she looks.
Yeah.
Like that's the Karen look that became so popular now, where people just go, "Ooh, we don't like you."
Yeah.
See, you could be so sweet and nice, and you look like that.
No,
and just go.
No, people that look like that aren't sweet enough.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know why? I figured this out. Like what the DNA of a Karen is. It's what it is. It's because y'all are comics. Right?
No,
we don't.
Okay, but you've been to comedy shows,
yes,
and you've been to comedy shows that have been interrupted by hecklers, and it's 90% of the time it's a drunk middle-aged white woman that looks like that, right? And I figured out what it is. It's the girl that grew up hot as fuck, and then they hit the wall, and they're used to pretty privilege because that's a real.
Yeah.
They're used to people letting them get away with shit, people meeting their demands, and then they get to the point where they're not quite that hot anymore. Like you can look at her and tell they used to be hot or whatever, and and they can't handle people treating them differently.
Right now you're just normal. Now
Yeah.
you're the pack,
and
you
so
used
it's
to
like
stand
something
out.
happens that they don't like and they
Yeah.
demand to speak to them. Whereas like the manager used to just come up and make sure they were okay.
Right.
Now they like,
Right.
where the fuck is the people? It's fucked up. And I feel bad for people whose regular name is just Karen. Like,
Oh yeah, that sucks. You
'Cause that-
become
yeah.
synonymous with the biggest assholes in the
yeah,
world.
that's the biggest slip up than like when Richards let Dick become.
I'm sorry you brought that up because I think about that more often than I'd like to admit. I'm like, how in the world did that happen? And then, like, how did people choose? Way back in the day is one thing. Once we understood that we make fun of people and call them dicks and what a dick is, how there were people in like the 80s. Like, who's the last person to go by Dick? You bet. Because nobody being born now, everyone's like, I'm Richie, I'm Richard.
Right.
I was gonna say I'm.
Well, I know how it happened. Is like in England. There was a time when Hackney rhyming slang became a thing. There was a time where rhyming nicknames became a thing.
Okay.
So Rich became Dick.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
No, well, because that doesn't rhyme.
Guess it's close enough.
They British
It's
now.
not that close at all.
Rick and Dick.
Yeah.
Rick and Dick, sure. Rich.
Yeah, right. So right, well, yeah. Well,
Okay,
I skipped.
okay.
So Dick, Rick,
I
Rich,
gotcha.
Rick,
Okay.
Dick,
Yeah.
and so that's how a lot of, if you think about a lot of the nicknames, like when well, that's why Bill and Will,
Bob and Rob.
Bob and Rob, right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was all from that.
All right.
Yeah, and I don't know when. I imagine that once Richard Nixon became a thing, that's when Dick became like a negative thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, but I just can't imagine being like, and like, when did they? At what age?
because he ran for president as Dick
Dick.
Nixon.
Did he?
Yeah,
But when forget about that. Was when he was like 10 years old on the playground? Was he like, "Hi, I'm Dick"? Like what?
I bet so. Yeah,
That's crazy to be like a little kid in elementary school, being like the teacher's like, "Dick," you're like present. Like
Yeah.
that is nuts.
and it was nothing. It was nothing. And then I imagine the Richards got together and was like, no, from now on it's cock. Everybody spread the word. It's cock now.
Business seems to be good for you, brother. Things are going
Oh
well.
yeah. So far,
Yeah?
It's only been like 2 weeks since the special came out.
Yeah, I
Dude,
mean,
it's so good.
It
was
is.
really, really
Oh, y'all
great.
watched it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Dude,
yeah.
in fact, your finishing joke, I don't want to give out bits, but we have a little jar up there. We have to put money into it every time we make a suicide joke. Throw a couple bucks in that one.
You're putting it in the big bag. Some of that material.
Yeah, that one took a while.
Did it? Yeah.
Yeah, it took a while.
There's layers to it. And,
In fact, like I remember so when I was on the fence about whether to do it, and it was like one of the last sets that I was running before we recorded, and so I think this was in Cleveland, and somebody in the back of the room was like, "Dude, why are you fucking telling people how to kill themselves?"
some people get touchy about it. Like,
No, but you know what? Honestly, I expected to get a lot of negative. But honestly, the only people that have ever contacted me about that joke specifically were people that were like, "I was suicidal,
Correct.
and that joke was awesome,
Right.
Yeah.
You know, thanks for making me laugh or whatever."
Right.
Like
Yeah.
or maybe the people that didn't like it are dead. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
You don't
the
hear
last
from
thing
the
we
ones
need-
that love.
Right.
The last thing we need is a fucking suicide note being like, Brian Simpson told me how to do that.
Oh, right.
Perfect instructions.
Yeah, bro,
Reddit
that
was
would-
super helpful.
That would fucking bury me. Oh my god.
That'd be good. But yeah, I mean, the special, Rogan's giving you that cosign and blessing, which is as good as it gets in the internet world right now. And I feel like you're just making the rounds on all the popular shows.
Yeah, they've been fucking with me. I mean, even before that, like Segura was really
Yeah.
fucking with me. Like, yeah, it's like it's weird because how like the old heads, because the older comics, like the old comics before them they didn't help anybody.
No.
Very,
it was very cutthroat.
Yeah.
you know, and now
Yeah.
and it's like they figured out they're like, oh no, if we help like together, we're powerful.
Everybody, man.
Yeah.
It's like if you get everybody watching specials and everybody downloading podcasts and everybody buying merch and all that shit, it's just good for everybody.
Yeah.
They've been great about like turning that. I mean, they also, it starts with a guy like Rogan, but once they get fucking rich is when it's easy,
Oh, yeah,
like now
yeah.
everyone, I'll help everyone. I got everything I fucking need, So once they all got theirs, they like the first thing they did was putting other people on. And it's
Oh
been,
yeah,
like,
I'm not
huge for
helping
the industry.
anybody till I'm rich.
yeah.
I need every dollar before I can get back, motherfucker.
Because that's the weird thing too is like a lot of people think they see the Netflix thing and they think you got money.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, no.
Does not work like that.
The money is always way behind the fame. Or
Right.
whatever. You know, it's like, no. I'm going to have some money hopefully by the end of the year.
Right. But it's
But
not like it's an immediate
Nah,
thing.
bro. I filmed that 6 months ago. I still live in the same apartment. I got roommates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My whole life is the same, except now.
Some people know, you know.
Now people know, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's coming. Don't get me wrong. Like, you're on the right trajectory.
Yeah,
But
I'm just famous enough to disappoint people when they, like when we go out to dinner or something. They like,
this is it. Yeah.
they look at me and I'm like, hey man, I'll cover the tip. I'll tip for everybody. You know?
Yeah, I mean, around here, you know, there's some guys who have hundreds of millions of dollars, you know, big money, and then there's some guys who don't, and it's like, just because I'm around this doesn't mean I have all that.
Yeah, it's like being in like an NBA locker room. You know?
The rookies still fucking.
Yeah, and as
you
well,
know.
not NBA's not a good.
Yeah, no, like baseball. It's like you get called up. It's like, yeah, I'm a major league baseball player. I've been a minor league baseball player for 10 years. I'm eating fucking ramen tonight.
I'm
Right.
in debt.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, it's like LeBron can get a private jet.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you need to make rent.
For real. Where do you live?
I live in North Hollywood.
Okay. So, where were you born?
I was born in D.C.
DC. So you're now living that West Coast life?
Oh yeah, I'm never coming back to the
No?
East Coast. No,
Dude, you're wrong. You're wrong. All you people are wrong.
How long you
What?
been in LA?
Yeah, dude, you fucking warm weather folks.
I've been in LA for 5 years, and I've been on the West Coast for like 15
Okay.
total. I came back sometime in between.
Okay, but now you're done.
I can't do the cold. I can't do the cold, man.
But so here's the argument I've made before, and I think it's a strong one, so I'm gonna use exactly what I used before. The people who do it gets a little cold for like a month. Like global warming, not a good thing, but it is warm.
It's better than it used to be, that's for sure.
It is warmed everywhere up. It doesn't fucking snow. Lakes don't freeze anymore. It doesn't snow anymore.
But the weather isn't the only. It's not the only reason.
Okay, well then if you have other reasons, that's fine. But when people are like, it's just like I like the warm. There's so many other.
But you know what it is too? Like this week, like 1 or 2 days where it's like 10, and that's all it takes for people to just be like, I can't do this.
I'll just go somewhere where my house is probably gonna catch on fire when the
that
forest
is
burns
funny.
down.
I'm gonna go live on a fucking fault where when the big earthquake hits, we're all dead.
Don't get me wrong, but also like the East Coast cities, everyone is so bunched together, and so there's this coldness in the people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Too.
Oh yeah.
So it's like that. I can't get back used to that. I do miss the food. The food's a little better out here.
I also think sometimes there's the coldness. Very rarely, more often the cold. I also sometimes think though there's like a connection. Like in LA, you don't ever ride the subway with a stranger. You don't ever
Sometimes.
ride the subway in LA.
Yeah, I've read
I
the
didn't even know there
subway.
was a subway in LA.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
I literally did not know that. I didn't think the one.
It's just a little safer. This is less. It's less
but
crazy.
More often than not, you're in your car, you're separated, you're not. I just feel like sometimes there's like I guess it's usually when really
It's
really
not a
bad
walking
shit happens,
town.
There's camaraderie.
It's not a walking town.
Yeah.
There's not a pedestrian.
And I honestly, it might be silly, but sports sometimes, like where people come together for sports teams, you're not getting that out in LA. Where I feel like everyone's a transplant, and everyone's on their own, and that's fine. You don't have to like love everybody else in your town, but I feel like you do lack some of that, like. People like from New York, like if you're in New York and you're out in New York, you meet another New Yorker. I feel like it's almost like there's a
Oh, yeah, no, I feel that all the
in a
time.
different city. It's like whatever.
When I hear somebody with a DC accent, I go, "Oh, that's like." I feel like
home,
I gotta come back home. Like I come back home as often as I need to do mushrooms. It's like once or twice a year to kind of reset.
That's that itch.
Kind of be like, don't forget where you're from.
Yeah.
And now go back out there and live comfortably.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
Yeah, because
Bring
you
it
do
down a notch and
because you
then
do
go.
forget some. Like if you stay in Los Angeles too long, you forget
I bet
that the world ain't that is a bubble.
Yeah, that's not
the
real
world,
life.
The world it's not real life.
Yeah.
It's like I remember the first time I came back home, and I remember my homeboy was dating some new girl, and we were sitting around talking, and I just casually brought up my trans friend, and she was like, "What?" Like she couldn't wrap her head around the fact that I was
trans friend.
friends with multiple trans people, and I was like,
Yeah.
what? It's 2021.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh no, because out there they're from Virginia. They're
Right.
from the like Southern
They're
Virginia.
gonna never run
It's
into one person.
No,
one like that,
no,
you know?
like all their trans people move.
Yeah, they get the
They,
fuck
they
out.
right, and they don't
Yeah.
come back. So
Yeah, I
it's
don't
like
blame 'em.
it's just a weird thing. You forget, like over there, it's not even something that's anybody give anybody pause whatsoever.
Right,
You know, they're like, "What's an avocado?" It's like, I don't know, man.
I will say multiple trans friends is a lot. Like I would love to have a trans friend. I don't know if I love's a strong word. Sounds like I'm fetishizing it. I'd be fine with a trans friend. I don't have one personally.
You overthought that.
Like, I love to have 70 trans friends.
No, man. I had three friends transition over the pandemic.
Really?
Oh, just the pandemic. Wow.
Yeah.
People just saying, "Fuck it, I'm doing it." Like,
Yeah, I got time.
it's too short. Oh yeah,
I got time.
I'm chilling at home now.
Yeah, because it's like that. It's like that. It's like I guess it's like going in a cocoon.
Yeah.
You know, and no one is going to see you for a year or
Right.
two
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, I can get my looks right. Get
Yeah.
my clothes right.
Get your
everything
titties
down.
right, get your surgeries.
Come on out and be like, "Hello."
Bang. Yeah.
Also a veteran, a U.S. veteran, right?
Yep, U.S. veteran.
were
Even
you
though I
like
think
an
I get
active duty?
way too much credit for that.
Yeah, I heard. I think I heard you on Segura.
Yeah, it's just a lot. It's like I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything heroic or dangerous or.
yeah. Like, did you see any action? Were you like?
Oh no! I mean, because I was so there's two sides to the Marine Corps. There's the, you know, there's the air side and the ground side. There's the grunts, and then everybody else. You know, and so they're the people that are like knife in the teeth, machine gun. You know, and it's like, and there's a very small percentage of people that actually are on the front. Right. I was in the air. I was a technician in the air wing. You know, and so the most action I ever saw was we would get RPGs over the gate, 2 or 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Good joke. I'll say a good amount.
I was gonna say
more
that's-
action than I've seen.
Oh, right. But it's
I
like,
didn't think you were gonna say someone threw a bomb at me 3 times a week.
well, they always, the thing is, it was scary as shit the first time it happened or the first couple times. But it's like by the end, it was like they always missed.
Yeah, they ain't hitting.
They was.
Where was this?
This was in Iraq.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And it's like they miss so often that. So whenever
you guys suck at this.
yeah, whenever it happened, we had to like all gather. Which now looking back on it, I don't think that was a good idea. but everyone had to gather at a predetermined point,
Right.
so they can count everybody and make sure everybody not dead, right? And it got to the point where. The first time it happened, everybody's like, it happened, we were asleep. And it was like, oh shit, everybody get up, grab your shit, load it, go. And by the time we left, people was like literally, like, you know how back then you could like connect Game Boy Advances?
Yeah.
And people would literally be at the point like just playing through it. Boom!
whatever, dude.
Because they never kill anybody.
They turned into middle school fire drills.
Yeah, in fact, no, that's not true. They kill one person.
Oh.
And that's only because
That's brutal to be the one guy in all these times.
and that's only because he was somewhere where he wasn't supposed to be.
yeah.
He was like near a gas tank that he wasn't supposed to be out there, and it or he was there at the wrong time or something,
Right,
and it blew up. But they never, so it was one of those things where.
Oh, good.
It's like
crazy that we've been at war so long that like you're telling stories about the Game Boy connecting devices.
Oh yeah,
like
this was
man.
back. This was before. This was when the iPod still had the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was.
I
then.
love that iPod, man. I
Yeah.
love the wheel. I had the iPod with the wheel and the buttons on top. The four.
Oh,
row
wow.
of four. I had like the first fucking.
Yeah.
iPod.
Yeah. I
It
remember,
had the
that
circle
one.
and then a row across.
This
with
is
no
right
buttons.
before. This was right when people started texting. I read a thing. I read a tweet the other day that was like, no one has ever sent a tweet. No one's ever sent a text about the Bengals winning a playoff game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Last time was 2001.
No one's ever sent a text.
First
Yeah.
text was sent 2002.
Yeah, the first.
That's what that tweet says. I didn't fact check it, but I saw that.
No, that doesn't count because the rappers used to remember when rappers had the SkyTel pages.
Yeah.
Not that, but like the
Right.
first text from a phone, from a cell phone.
And the rappers weren't talking about the Bengals fucking winning.
No, nobody from Simpson.
Damn. That's brutal.
That
I think
is
it changed
brutal.
this weekend, but
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
yeah,
if it's
bro,
not,
y'all
if it's
got-
not this year. It's not. I mean, the Bengals are fucking.
Y'all got Joe Burrow.
The Bengals are
And
coming.
unless y'all have some kind of RG3 level disappointment, because I'm a Skins fan,
Yeah.
old school, or the Washington football or whatever they're
What
going
do
to
you-
be.
what's the new one?
We're gonna find. No,
I
we
think-
find out on February 2nd.
yeah,
what-
I think
what
but
do we
people seem
heavily
to think it's Commanders. I think.
Commanders.
Commanders,
Okay.
admirals. I don't give a fuck what it is.
I
just
think
want.
they should've left
I just want the owner to have a tragic accident.
Bro,
He is
I'm a Mets
ruined.
fan fan, Jets fan, and the Knicks are kind of all right now, but Dolan, the Wilpons, the Mets. I mean, having a bad owner is the worst thing that can happen to you.
The Knicks owner is the only one I would say is worse than the Washington.
And it's still like it's always like worst, you're the worst. I'm the worst, you're the worst. Like they're always trading.
And the only reason I say the Knicks is worse is because Stephen A. Smith is like probably one of the highest or the highest profile sports voice in the world is a Knicks fan and is constantly shitting on this man. So it's not like he ain't aware.
No, he is aware.
He is literally speaking for the fan base directly to the owner. Yep. No one's doing that for us. No one famous enough is going, Daniel Schneider, sell the fucking team.
Dude, I mean, I'm from Boston, so I'm not in this, the Knicks fan.
You spoiled fucking These Boston fans, all they do is bitch and moan. Like they haven't won a... Since 2000, y'all have won a championship in every major sport.
Oh yeah,
multiple times.
Yeah, we won 4 in baseball, 6 in football.
They're so used to it, and they get delusional. I was trying to make plans with him for the Super Bowl week, and he was like, "Well, like I don't know, the Pats might be in it.
The
Pats are not going to be in it this year, you motherfucker."
I said it's a long shot.
He did, but the fact that it's even in your brain is crazy.
And remember that. Remember when it wasn't that long ago? Because I also remember, like one of my close friends in front of the military was a big Boston guy. We had it all. We had the Boston. We had the Cowboy. We had and it wasn't that long ago that every famous person from Boston was in a commercial that was like, "I'll suck a dick for a pennant" or whatever, right? And now you motherfuckers are like, "Oh, we lost."
Dude, Matt
we
Damon's
didn't make the playoffs.
Doing his crypto. Matt Damon's like, "I'll suck a dick for a Dogecoin."
Well, he had it the best though, because you were like old enough to be understanding what was going on, but you had championships when you were a kid. You had championships when you were in high school.
Never a kid.
College.
High school. I started.
High school. Okay.
I started high school. No. I guess the Pats. The Pats. I was 12.
Yeah. So. You had you had middle school, high school, college, post college. You got to celebrate when you were hugging your dad. You got to celebrate when you were boozing with your friends. You got to,
man. I know motherfuckers that remember when was it the Royals, Kansas City? Yeah. Remember when? So I had a friend who his father died. His grandfather bought a bottle of booze and was like, "We not drinking this." It was 2 of them actually, and it was like an old clay pot. It was probably poisoned by the time they drank it. And he was like, "We're not opening these until the Royals win." And he passed it to his father, and then the son. I was with the son, so 2 generations. He bought this whiskey when it was fresh, when it was like prohibition. and he didn't get to crack it open until he was and the dad was dead and the granddad was dead, and this dude, he had to fly his brother out so they could drink this whiskey. I don't even know if it was safe.
I would have my grandfather fuck this, sorry dad, I don't know, man, we won, I don't need to drink this shit.
I vividly remember helping my grandfather clean out his basement, and he's like, I'm gonna die before the Red Sox ever win a World Series. And he's like, I'm gonna die before the Jacobs ever bring us a Stanley Cup. And he was like despondent, moving like lawn chairs. Like, I'm just gonna die. I'm never gonna see one. Motherfucker's still alive. And he's like, if another parade goes by my apartment, I'm going to die.
That's funny shit. To be complaining about the parades. That's another weird thing about LA is like whenever LA wins something, they fucking set shit on fire.
Winning, when they win, right? It's wild.
Yeah, when they win.
We won this shit. Let's tear it down.
Yeah, y'all don't do that out here.
No.
There's
a car flipped here and there, but like it's.
I remember when the Sox won their first one, someone got killed with a pellet gun.
Oh shit!
Really?
Yeah, it was like it was like to the head. Yeah, it was like
why you going outside, bro? Celebrating sports. That's for young people.
Yeah. I think it was a young person. To be honest, I think it was a young person.
Dude, of course.
Yeah. The parade. I mean, I've never won a championship in my life as a sports fan. I feel like I got to at least like go to a parade and like see it, but being in it, chugging beers and being like in the mosh pit, I'm all set.
Cause see, I'm old enough now where you can't talk me into some shit by just being like, "Come on."
Yes, agreed.
That used to be all it took. Come on. I'm like, all right.
Right.
Yeah,
literally like, why not? Okay, you're right. Yeah.
I know myself. I know that I'm gonna be miserable.
Yep.
Like the last big major thing that I went to be in the crowd was the Obama inauguration, and that is when I told myself, never again. Never again.
We got tickets to Kanye, the Life of Pablo tour, when he had the floating stage. and then underneath that was like a fucking mosh pit. And they were like, you can get a suite or you can be on the floor underneath the stage. And I was like, I vote suite.
Yeah.
And we had a couple young guys in the crowd. Who I didn't want to go down.
fuck
I was like,
all
I'll
that.
be doing the buffet in the suite, okay? Thank you.
You know how many people went to Astro World? It was like,
Oh, my God.
I'm never going to no crowd.
Never.
Yeah, because that shit. That's what. Look, at the Obama inauguration, bro. It was cold as shit, and it was like they were so concerned about his safety that like all the ways you had planned to get back home weren't available. It was like no one can get on this train until the president is gone.
Yeah.
So it became this everyone getting mushed together because everybody was moving towards the trains and then realized they couldn't get on them and trying to move back and so everybody that was still going towards them that didn't know, and it was like this smash and you lost your family and it was like fuck this. What?
That's a
Yeah,
nightmare.
because if I had known better, I wouldn't. Because it's like the thing is, I only went because it's like if you were black at that time, and people was flying from all over the country to go, and I was like there, and it was like I gotta if I don't go, it's like it's here. So I was like, if I could go back in time and tell myself not to go, I'd have went. Yeah, it took me 8 hours to get home. I lived 30 minutes away.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude,
my God.
My sister went to college in DC, and she was in college at that time. And like her and like her college friends just rented their apartment because the people were paying. So many people were coming in that people were paying like insane rates for even like a college girl's apartment.
That's
and
wild.
she just came home for the weekend. And she was like, "Fuck that!" It was honestly like a crazy. I want to say it was like 20 grand. It was like a crazy amount of money for the weekend.
What could get you? What would get you up now to get you into a crowd?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah, I think the same way.
No.
Or what could get you? We talk about this all the time. What would you wait online for? Like I can't think.
Like
of
wait in a line.
Yeah.
Um.
People who like when you're a young kid, you're like, I'll wait online to get into this bar, and it's like, never again. People who wait to see like a celebrity, they wait hours. Like
Well, man, I just wish our culture was just a little different. Because, like, like in Japan, they have this thing where you can go and like mark your spot,
and then come back,
and no one will take it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That ain't happening.
It's like Southie.
Yeah.
Shoveling Southie.
The shoveling, I do understand the
Yeah.
idea. I just did a shit ton of manual labor to shovel this out. I'm gonna hang on to this spot, but I also understand people being like, "No, bro,
Bro,
I
it
got
would
my
have
car.
to-
Your car's not there now. It's not your spot."
But it would have to be, it would have to be something like a once in a lifetime, like never gonna happen again. I can't see it online.
But that's the thing is, all of these things like it'll be streamed on the television or whatever. I can't.
There is something I think like everything is so cyclical, and age obviously plays a factor. But I do think there is something to like being there. Yeah, it is for a regular ass thing. Of course, whatever. Who cares? We're talking about a regular season fucking football game. Watch it at home.
Yeah, but you're missing the point because there is something to not being there.
But there's something more to being. There is.
I don't
like. Here's the deal. As someone who's been to a couple of Super
filming.
Bowls, be there when your team wins the
Yeah.
Super Bowl. It's fucking awesome. It's awesome.
I guess we can't really talk.
Be there when your team wins. Yeah, you had 11 chances. Yeah.
Well, that's what sucks. We were talking about that recently during the national championship game because it was like all dogs there, right? And I was explaining to my friend who was surprised that there were more any Alabama fans there, where I was like,
it.
it's not even that you're used to it. It's that you saved up. It's a once in a lifetime trip.
Yeah.
So you saved up. And you just can't afford to do it every year anymore.
Right.
Where it's like the ticket costs so much, the hotel costs so much, the travel costs so much. So the more a team gets to a championship, the less their fans are gonna be there because they just can't.
Oh yeah, bro.
They've charged them out of house and home.
Let me
for
give
it.
you the antithesis of that. Try saving up to go see your team lose a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I've done that too.
Be a Buffalo Bills fan that saved up to watch a team lose a Super Bowl, and then you have to go through the whole crowd thing, and then you still live in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like you gotta go back to Buffalo.
Dude,
How
I
about
went to
the
the
people
Pats
who even
Bills
just-
game up there recently. It's wild. It's just not a city.
What, Buffalo?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I wasn't in the city part, but like where we went, and then when we went to the stadium, like I didn't see a building over 4 stores. They were bigger
Yeah,
buildings in Buffalo. I'm aware, but like from where we landed in the airport to where we went to get dinner to the stadium back to the airport was there
town.
wasn't a building.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But they fucking love it. I mean, that's like those guys. That's another thing too. As I'm getting older, and my teams suck, They all suck. And I can't do it
Who are your
anymore.
teams?
The Jets, the Mets, and Knicks.
Oh, you're a New York guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jets, Mets, Knicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Mets is like who I was raised with, my mom. So that's like in my blood. I can't really quit it. But like the Jets this year, I was just like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it this year. I was the guy screaming and yelling. I was the guy worrying about the draft pick. I was the guy, can't take it anymore. I had a whole series on Instagram of me screaming and yelling. And I was like, I'm just not fucking doing this anymore. And I didn't really watch this year. And it was like, this is amazing. This is amazing. It was like a weight off my shoulders.
Yeah,
every
that's
week.
I hit that point with RG3. Like when that
Yeah.
because I was broken.
And they got your
I
hopes up.
was broken.
Again.
I was broken when Sean Taylor passed. And I was like, okay, I got a little distant emotionally from the team, because I was that guy where I knew the whole roster. I knew all the staff. I knew everything about the team. I knew the prospects. All of this. I was in the boards. And then and then Sean Taylor passed, and I distanced myself a little bit. I still was familiar with the team, but I was just not as
That's
attached.
crazy, yeah.
And then RG3 came, and I was like, oh my god, like wait a minute. We don't never have the guy.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't ever have that guy that like it was like Lamar Jackson. It was like, oh, we have a guy that everyone's afraid of.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened in forever.
Right.
And then Sean Taylor was everyone's afraid of. But it was like, and then it was like they just completely just mismanaged this guy. They ruined his career.
Yeah.
Fast.
When they made him play
Quickly.
on that one field that was like a sloppy mess, and he played and he twisted his. It was just like insane.
Yeah.
What did
And-
you think of this when this happened this year? Because I'm friends with a few Washington fans, and like it would have been a hard cut for me if my legend was disrespected how the Deshaun Taylor thing was handled.
that was fucked
I was like, I joke about like quitting over losing seasons and stuff like that, but what they did with the Deshaun Taylor stuff was so impossibly fucked up.
Yeah.
That I was like, that would for real be.
That was right after
I-
they did that just to make up for the.
It was like there were a bunch of sexual harassment charges,
Right.
and then like the
Never
emails leaked. And
By the way,
Snyder's
we'll
stuff
do the
came out.
retirement.
Yeah,
right?
and,
then it
they,
was like-
they just threw it together.
On like a
Fucking
Tuesday, they announced
garbage.
that Sunday that Sean Taylor's retirement was happening. The fucking picture with his family is in front of a bunch of porta potties.
Ugh.
Like it's fucking
Garbage.
Dan Snyder's in sweatpants.
Ooh.
Like it's they fucking had Jackson Mahomes
Dancing
on
on the thing,
They didn't
yeah.
even have a highlight reel ready for the halftime show. It was fucking nuts. I'd be like, I'm out. If that happened,
that's garbage.
If like when one of my
Snyder
guys
is
died
just-
tragically, and then that's how they did it,
Yeah,
I'd be
and
like,
it's
done.
crazy because I don't even know if I could pick another team. Like I don't even know who I would switch to.
I don't think you can. I think you gotta. I think if you quit your team for whatever reason, you end up just kind of being a fan of like the league. But I can't just like pour my guts into
because it's like
somebody
I can't
else,
do because a lot of people in DC are Cowboys fans, right? Well, a lot of black people are because of like when the league integrated or whatever, and the Skins were the last team. Like they had to basically force them to do it.
Oh wow!
really?
I know
And
that.
so a lot of black fans were like, fuck them, I'm a
that.
Cowboys fan, right? Just to be the rivalry.
interesting.
So a lot of DC people are Cowboys fans.
Oh, I didn't know
But
that.
I spent so much of my life hating them that I couldn't switch to them just to
Yeah.
spite the Skins.
Yeah.
So then it's like so much of being a Skins fan is hating the Cowboys. So it's like so then that just leaves them with Eagles and Giants and fuck them too. So I don't know what to do.
I
don't know
think,
what
like
to do.
you said, almost like I feel like in the NBA because it's such a superstar-facing league, and because superstars are so recognizable because they're not wearing masks and pads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That there are a lot of people who are just like fans of the good player,
Anybody,
or
yeah.
or like fans of the league. I think you kind of do that and I think football is moving that way where they're promoting their stars more and more and more and promoting them not wearing masks.
You just watch Red Zone, and you play fantasy sports or whatever, and you just consume football.
Yeah.
It's not healthy, man. It's not healthy
It's
what I
not.
did to myself for the first 5 years of my life. I mean, it was like taking its toll on me.
It's also not
as a
enjoy.
person.
It's not as enjoyable. Though.
No, it's
There's-
awful.
Well, I mean, being just like a fan of the sport,
you mean
it's
like
not
that.
as enjoyable because
Well,
there's nothing at stake. So the wins,
Yes.
the highs are not as high,
Right.
but the lows are not as low.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You're never going to get that reward. But also, when I never get the reward anyway,
Yeah.
I was getting sick of it.
When's the last time like a Jets game made you fucking jump out of your seat and go
In a good way or a bad
in
way?
a good way?
Oh, in a good way. Heavens. Heavens. Even the things that I was jumping up was when I was rooting for them to lose for the draft pick. So I would jump out of my seat when the other team scores. There was that game against the Raiders. I got so turned around backwards because the Raiders threw like a 60-yard Hail Mary at the end to win it.
Yeah.
And I was like, Yes, because I thought they were going to get Trevor Lawrence in that draft pick that year, which at that time, not so much now, but at that time was like, if you get Trevor Lawrence, you're going to win Super Bowls. And so I was like cheering my heart out for the Raiders throwing a Hail Mary, and I was like, this is fucked, man. That was like the hardest I had cheered for the Jets in a long time, and it was because the Raiders scored a touchdown. Bananas, man. So yeah, I mean, as far as a good, when they beat Brady in the playoffs, like 2010. 09, 10,
Leak,
when
dude.
Sanchez was like the time. There's been good moments since then, barely. Fitzmagic came through and had a couple moments, but like,
Yeah, you gotta
no,
love
I mean
Fitzy.
they there was a chart the other day of like teams the last year they made the playoffs, and the Jets are far and away
Really?
the worst. Yeah,
That actually surprises me.
it was back then.
Maybe because it's so prominent in my mind because it was so hurtful when we lost to you. But like that, it feels like they made it more recently than.
I saw a trivia question the other day. It was like on the screen in my hotel, but it was like there's 4 teams that have never been to the Super Bowl.
The Jets 69 are the last time they've been there. The Lions? The Lions are a tough. If you're a Lions fan, bro.
Yeah, that's brutal. The Browns.
Browns. Chargers have been there.
Yeah, the Chargers have been there. They lost.
Yeah.
I would Texans,
Texans
Texans.
and the Jaguars.
Jags.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just brutal for some of these people out here.
Well, those are new franchises.
yeah,
Yeah.
the new ones. Yeah, that's the Lions are the one that's like Jesus Christ.
It's tough.
brutal.
It's tough. And
Good for you.
And your team plays on Thanksgiving every year. Like
Right.
they got
the spotlight.
They got that raw deal.
Yeah,
And they just
There are some teams that suck and they kind of just like snake by on we're never on national TV. No one really thinks of us. Just like the family sits around once a year. Every
Yeah.
family in the country and just watches
and
you
the Lions
suck.
have had 3 RG3.
Yeah.
They had Barry Sanders just retired. He was like, fuck playing for this people. Yeah, and the same thing with Megatron. Like,
Yep.
imagine that if like 2 people that are considered the greatest, one of the greatest, because
Probably the greatest each at their position. You could make that
you could
argument.
make it. They're in
Yeah.
the discussion.
Yeah.
and they all retired in their prime. They both retired in their prime.
Barry Sanders was just quietly like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
at least there was something with Calvin Johnson, but I think there was some reason or some argument or whatever. But Barry was just like, peace.
No, and they still owe him money.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
he won't
right.
go. He won't go back because they owe him money.
Get that man his money.
Bro, the Ford family owns that team. Just give the dude. It's not like a crazy amount. It's a couple million, I think. But like,
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like
give him his
slow development on the next equinox and give that man his fucking money, dude.
Unreal, man. But yeah, listen, happy things are going well because you're a funny ass dude. And I think the more people out there like you doing it, the better. So.
I do like how you were surprised we saw a special. You're like, you thought the
crazy,
bar was
man.
so low. Like, these guys are idiots.
Well, because since then I've done like since it came out on the 29th, and I've probably been on like 15 or
shows.
20
Yeah.
podcasts,
Yeah.
and you can tell when somebody
Who's seen it,
hasn't
who hasn't.
hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
And I don't hold that against anybody. Like when I can tell they haven't seen it, I just don't put them in the position where they got to talk about it.
Right.
But it's like
yeah.
whatever, or they seen it and didn't like it. You know?
Yeah, no. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good, and I like the half hours too. The half hours are good. Like you can rip through them, and there's other good people on the.
the stand-ups. The
stand-up.
stand-ups is such an awesome series.
It really
It's
is a great way to
perfect.
introduce.
That's where I
people
discovered
and-
Bargatze and Soder. Like,
Yep.
It's perfect because when you're unknown, an hour is too much.
Yes.
Like because every comic on feels like I could have done an hour. Like give me an hour. Everybody wants that, you know.
Yep.
But it's like, but an hour is a big task for somebody to watch you that has no idea who you are.
Right.
And
now people will tune in for an hour.
Yeah,
They
and
know
a
the
half hour was a
beginning.
good chunk because they watch the first 10 minutes and go, okay, I'll see the next 10.
Yeah.
And if they like the next 10, they go, okay, I'll finish this motherfucker.
Right,
You know?
right. Even now, I mean, I think Shane Gillis was saying like he thinks an hour is too much. Period.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
His was like 40, 45, I think, and he was like nobody because just the way the world is, people are watching fucking 10 seconds on TikTok, not an hour on TV. So I mean, once you've made it, you can probably do whatever you want, but it really is. Less is kind of more. I'd rather a tight 30 than, let me try to limp to 55, 60 minutes.
Yeah,
you know?
especially because the turnaround nowadays is so high, you know.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people, your first special is kind of like, whole life's work, right? Your best jokes from
Right,
your
right.
entire career.
I think
And
Shane
then
was
they're
saying it
like,
took him 10 years.
yeah,
Shane
10
was like-
years, and then it's like, okay, now do it again. You know, you have 10 months. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, actually, I don't know. I think my hour is going to be my best joke. My best. It's going to be better than the
Yeah,
half hour.
then your half hour.
I
yeah,
hope so.
yeah.
What do you think the best joke in your special was?
I think a lot of people's favorite thing was the grandma story.
The grandma story?
Yeah.
The one I've seen shared the most is the
Pennies?
Yeah.
But I did that on late night like a couple years ago.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's
Like
gotten
totally original.
Yeah, but it's like but those that joke haunts
I mean,
me
that really.
How come?
I
because
actually
I haven't written anything that's that
good.
Shared.
that's that sharp and short and succinct and just
Yeah.
I would honestly make the argument that might be, for my money, like the funniest joke ever told. Like the funniest I've ever heard. I swear to God, it's so perfect. Like in terms of just like a true, well written and delivered punchline joke, it's perfect.
Yeah, and that's the only joke. That's maybe one of like 3 jokes that was perfect right out of my head. Like it was. That's exactly what it was because I wrote that joke in the middle of an argument, and that
Like it just hit you. Like
I literally this is off base a little bit, but I was
tell it.
I was living in a homeless shelter in LA that was
Okay.
only for Iraq veterans. So it's all veterans, and veterans we talk about race like it's nothing. It's not like no one's uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's that kind of situation. And there was a gas station across the street that everyone would go to and buy cigarettes and juices and shit. And so I just come from the gas station, and a lady walked in, and there's a picture of it on my Instagram. A lady walked in and she dumped like 1,400 pennies on the counter. And everyone's in line, like you know how sometimes on the subway something is happening and you kind of make eye contact with everybody
We're all
and
in
it's
the
like
same boat, like,
we're
fuck
all
this.
going through this, right?
Yeah,
and it was that kind of situation, like
Right.
And I was and I get back to the homeless shelter and there's a little smoke area and that's where everyone kind of congregates, and we're smoking and we're arguing about race, and that's when I said the pennies analogy. And everybody, and it broke the tension. Everybody laughed, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, holy shit!" Blah, blah, blah.
Putting a note on that
And then
one,
I
yeah.
told y'all know Taylor Thomason.
Yeah.
So like the next day, I told her, and she was like, "That's fucking
It's
great."
brilliant.
And I did it on stage at the store, and it worked. And I was like, "Damn!"
I mean,
and
it's
I didn't have
funny.
to edit it or anything.
It's funny. It's poignant. Like it's as like correct and like oh shit as it is funny in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
so
what
like
I'm
you're
going
saying
for.
some shit, and it's. I mean, it's to me, it's like the.
I love getting away with saying some shit.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
How long were you in the homeless shelter with while friends with Taylor? Because Taylor, like being friends or knowing Taylor feels like I've made
Recent,
it.
right? Yeah.
So
Taylor's
where it's like
fucking-
if you're friends with Taylor, Taylor's been
No, I lived there for 2 years, almost 2 years.
in what years though?
But we all got our own struggle. That was 2015 to 2017.
Damn, I mean that's so like that's a quick turnaround to go from
Yeah.
2017 shelter to Rogan.
But by this time, so I've known Taylor since she started.
Yeah.
So this is way back. But at that time, she wasn't like huge.
Yeah.
She was definitely way ahead of us. But
when was her first special? Was probably 2017, right? Maybe 2018.
I think she got a 15. She got
Okay.
the I forget what they called it, the comics or something like that.
Yeah.
But that when I saw her the day after the pennies argument, we were driving to we were driving like 3 hours to do some fucking bar show or something. It was like none of us were
like made it. Like,
none of us had made it to the point where it was like, hey, bro, you moving out that shelter. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. Nobody was on that level. Nah. Nah.
But that's incredible, dude. That's a fast turnaround to be where you're at now. So congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're gonna go next door and answer some dumb questions. You know,
Oh yeah.
we got a series called Answer the Internet. Yeah, I think you'll be good at it.
Okay, let's get it.
But before we do that, so people can find you where
Yeah.
plug
Oh
everything
yeah. So you can. When does this come out?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay, so it'll be too late Tuesday, but I'm in West Nyack this week. You can go to BS Comedian on Instagram and go to my link tree. I got a bunch of tour dates up. I'm gonna be in Ontario and Wisconsin and Philly, and I'm doing the Netflix is a Joke Festival. I'm doing JFL in Canada, so I'm everywhere. Just go to the link tree if you're in any of those places. Click on the link, and I'm constantly adding dates.
Beautiful. Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
All right, later, y'all.
We're creeping up on 100,000 subscribers. It's all I've ever wanted for like the last decade is to get to 6 figures. So just fucking do it.
Subscribe.
I'm
Just
getting so
subscribe.
sick of being the amount. I see all these other people getting 100,000 subscribers and they're getting their plaques and they're not even close to the level of KFC Radio. They're not Barstool people. They're just like, they just get 100,000 people somehow and we can't. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for me. It's embarrassing for him. It's embarrassing for you. So click the fucking button. And even if you don't use YouTube, you just have a Gmail account. You just sign in and fucking click subscribe.